Parents should not expect schools to police children's eating and exercise, or toilet-train pupils, Ofsted boss Amanda Spielman will say this week. England's Chief Inspector for Schools will argue the answer to the obesity crisis lies in the home, and parents should not abdicate responsibility.
Here's a summary of the article.
Parents should not expect schools to police children's eating and exercise, or toilet-train pupils, Ofsted boss Amanda Spielman will say this week. England's Chief Inspector for Schools will argue the answer to the obesity crisis lies in the home, and parents should not abdicate responsibility. Neither can schools be a panacea for knife crime or child neglect, she will add in her second annual report. In February, the British Medical Journal reported that a year-long anti-obesity programme involving more than 600 West Midlands primary school pupils yielded no improvements. In July, an Ofsted study of 60 schools found no link between efforts to tackle obesity and pupils' weight. Ms. Spielman, who will present Ofsted's annual report on Tuesday, will highlight concerns that, by the time they start primary school, almost a quarter of children in England are overweight or obese. Ms. Spielman will also argue that by expecting schools to tackle gang-related crime or child neglect, society risks not only distracting them from their core purpose but also failing to solve the problems.
This post received a score of 11,021, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
I thought that was seen as so embarrassing by parents that they bloody well make sure it doesn't happen. As for exercise and healthy eating, I think it would be good if schools educated people about this and encouraged it more, but parents do need to take more responsibility and reinforce good habits and practices. I do kind of feel like people are increasingly placing the blame for things on schools and teachers, but this is unsurprising since people do often like to find other people to blame for their own shortfalls. I'm glad there's an important voice out there telling people to take some responsibility for themselves and their children.
I thought that was seen as so embarrassing by parents that they bloody well make sure it doesn't happen. Honestly, the concept that a child old enough to go to school still hasn't figured out toilets is so weird to me.
I used to work at a school both with their after-school and summer camp programs. I worked specifically with kiddos aged 2 to 5, and I can't tell you the number of parents who brought in children who weren't potty trained. It should be a school rule that kids can't start school without being potty trained. The kids had to be 3 to be enrolled during the school year.
Big difference between a 2-year-old not being potty trained and a 4/5-year-old entering school.
The thing is, most of our 2-year-olds were potty trained. It was our older kids who were the problem. The parents of the 2-year-olds were the best parents we had tbh. We had most of our problems with 3/4-year-olds who should have been potty trained before attending. Edit, the 2-year-olds were only allowed to attend the summer camp if they had older siblings also attending. During the school year the kids had to be 3 to attend. Sorry for not making that clear.
Some people just shouldn't have kids.
Hey, I passed the practical, nobody said there would be a written test too.
A colleague of mine just the other day said they wouldn't be potty training their child because that's what they pay nursery for. I was shocked, but clearly they aren't the only ones who think that this is acceptable behavior.
Parents abdicating responsibility for their children to schools is a MAAASSIIIIVVE problem here in Sweden. They expect to be friends with their kids at home and expect schools to instill a respect for authority in kids, then get surprised when their kids respect zero authority and fail out of school.
I moved to Sweden in Morum in Beckland for middle school, and I saw wonderful things that I think that we should implement, like free healthy lunches, and kids don't have to worry about buying school materials, and there's not homework grades until 8th grade. The part that was really a culture shock for me is the lack of care for education and the lack of discipline kids got at home. My family was the other extreme, so it was nice for me to come to a chill classroom, but all the kids were super disrespectful and kids failed a lot, and all they had to do was the minimum to pass. After I moved back to the US, I still kept in touch with the people I went to middle school with, and only 3 sought higher education out of my class, which is another culture shock, but Sweden does have a lot better availability of occupational schools and those jobs pay well.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.